Charles supposedly are gonna play some Scrabble here,
And it looks like Charles is first, even though he's on the right.
and it looks like he's gonna make a play that
And
scores
he's gonna pass.
0 points.
Yeah. He doesn't even have a 3-letter word that's with no vowels.
Yeah.
So the question is, what does he save? What would you save? I think I would save. Ooh.
I mean RT for
RTH,
sure, but I think you
yeah,
can keep the.
RTH,
I think you
I
keep
would-
the H
yeah.
there, because like if you, it's a good middle ground,
Yeah.
right? Because if you don't get the bingo, then move your thing, Robin.
What can't you see?
This.
Oh. Where is it?
It's
Oh, is
down
it
low.
down?
It's
Is it
hiding
down?
behind your hair again.
All right, thanks. Okay,
So,
guys, thanks.
Yeah. So hopefully Robin should be hearable now.
Could you hear me breathe?
We're gonna breathe for everyone. Okay, we're breathing, guys. So he apparently traded the H as well. Hopefully we will be giving you a view of the board pretty soon. Oh, there we go.
Oh, powders. Okay,
Okay.
so that worked out well. Posture, Proteus.
Yeah.
Keep going. Oh, God, it's been a while.
Yeah. You
Am
got
I
this.
done? Am I got
No,
it?
you got like 4 more.
All right.
If anybody knows, well, we're still looking at Charles is still going to trade here. I don't know if it's Charles.
Oh, there are a few more. Spouter, Troops, and Petrus.
They are still seeing. Charles is just trading 5 right now.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so we'll get there. Okay, so.
Now, we were visited by the Long Island medium during lunch, and she
Cool.
told me what his next rack would be.
Oh, okay. That makes so much more sense. So David versus Ian was actually from last year. So now we're coming back to this thing called the present. I think it's a thing. Please let me know if I'm wrong. I'm not actually positive. So if anyone knows all of the 7-letter words in Spouter, well, there's one. You will have my eternal, undying gratification and respect. Last year, David won. He is not here this year. Ian is...
David who?
David Gibson.
Ah, David Gibson.
And Ian Weinstein is here this year.
And he's doing quite well.
Yeah.
He's still quasi in contention, even though we
Yeah.
don't get to see him.
Yeah, he's always kind of hanging around.
So what's interesting about Oxid is that it not only takes the S, but it also takes an E.
It's still...
And, well, oh, what is, oh.
Oh,
your,
my
wow,
stream. Oh,
your screen
my
needs to
stream
be
is lagging, guys. I am so cool.
Super lagging.
All right, let's bring me back to the present here. I really was in the past. Okay, well, that somehow doesn't surprise me. I'm a little...
So the question becomes, do you play Oxide because you're replenishing your rack and you have a greater chance of picking up an S right away to stick onto it, or do you stick the S on it right away and kill it? What's your preference?
I mean, I think it's whatever is going to score the most points here. I feel like most of the
I
ones...
think Petrus will score the
yeah,
most.
Petrus, Proteus,
Yeah.
Troops, any of them really...
Well, the P's going to hit the triple letter if we do the
Yeah.
Petrus and Proteus.
Yeah, and Troops it would too.
Would it as well? There you
Yeah.
go. You're right. You're right. Thanks.
If there's anything that goes... If there's anything that underlapped or overlapped Oxid, I would as the
consider
defensive
that.
person, I would be a huge fan of that. But
Won't be that easy because you have to
Yeah.
do vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant.
yeah.
We're not getting a lot of that with this rack.
Yeah, I suspect that he's going to play something down from the...
Yeah, I think he'll
To-
play
to
Petrus
Oxid,
or
yeah.
Proteus.
And then I guess we'll quickly see another bingo back from Will. Will the Thrill.
Postured is in fact a word.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many words in Scrabble, how many adjectives actually take S's, and
Yeah.
words that sound like a noun actually are verbs.
Yeah, if you could see me right now, you would see how poorly postured I am.
Although in this case it's a verb, not just an
yeah, that's fair.
adjective.
So really, Charles is just in a great position and just gets to spend a while, deciding which of his riches he'd like to, how he'd like to capitalize on his riches. It's just a great position to be in.
Yeah. Which one? I feel like Mr. Burns.
I
I'd like
yeah.
to put my feet up.
Yeah, exactly.
And which of my 6 bingos shall I play?
Yeah. Yeah, Kuma, you get 25 minutes per game. You should be able to see it up at the top there. That's the clock. You can use that time however you'd like. And
The way you
it's
can
the-
tell who's
yeah.
playing is that if you look at the clock, you'll see that one of the red buttons is lit up. That's the person who's currently playing.
yeah, they'll also have a star next to their name. So that's how we know it's on
Oh, so he's
Charles.
decided to play posture. All right.
Well, Rich, we're a little jealous of you, but oh, interesting. He went for that. Okay. I mean,
He could be on acetylsalicylic acid,
that.
and maybe that's what he meant. He's taking aspirin.
Okay. Hmm.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Finster. Thanks for watching. So I guess this makes sense, as Charles is just bingoed here. The idea is that because I think he probably views Will as a better player than him, he wants to keep the board wide open so he can, if he's going to get good tiles, he's going to be able to, stay in front and be able to always capitalize on them. So I think that's what his
I
thought
think
is
that's a
here.
good But if you remember earlier, we were talking about stem racks. So what Will has on his rack is what we call satine, S-A-T-I-N-E, and he's got it with a T. So he's got instate and satinet, and he's going to probably play oxides and that. And satinet, I would think.
Seems like it, yeah.
He has nattiest to the T. We're looking, remember, double-double, but he
Yeah.
can't hit a double-double with that.
Yeah.
So.
It ain't a party without some natty.
This is going to be a very fast play, relatively, because this is a rack you learn in your first couple of weeks of studying Scrabble.
Yeah. How was lunch? What did I have for lunch? I had some coffee. It
That's
was
just what you needed.
It was great. I'm gonna keep drinking it here as well.
There's cookies, remember?
All right, I'm gonna have a cookie
Goes well with the
eventually.
cookies.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a cookie after this game. I think I had a piece of bread. I had a piece of chicken. That's what it was. I had a little bit of chicken. I've been eating pretty well while I've been here, so
Oh
I think
my
I just
God,
wasn't
that's ridiculous.
wasn't that hungry.
Ridiculous. There you go. Here comes Satinet.
Yeah. If anyone watching is from New Orleans, I've got to say, this is one of my favorite cities in the world, especially for the food.
He's got Wicketer Charles Reinke through a D,
Yeah.
which doesn't exist, and he's not about to get it.
Yeah.
Another possibility was to play Satinet on top of Oxide so that the NET went over the OXI. So I'm sure he was doing the math and trying to figure out, because right now he's opened up a triple row for an S to stick onto Satinet.
Yeah. So Finster, a double-double means that it hits two of those pink squares at once. You'd all actually multiply your whole play by 4. And Squish, it kept IST. You know me, I'm always looking for some local freebies. Whatever they may be. Whatever they may be. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll remember to look at this and not our faster one. So he didn't give him the the D for Wicketer, so he's going to have to... We haven't talked about rack management yet.
That's true. Would you like to...
Sure, because a lot of people might see the word rec, right? So through the E in Satinet, you might think, well, that's a good thing to play because he doubles the W and he's going to score a lot of points. But the trouble with that is he's going to leave IEE on his rack. And that's a lot of vowels, and certainly early in the game there are a lot more vowels in the bag. There's more vowels than there are consonants. So that would be a really, really dangerous thing to do. So he's going to look to a way to score, keep the board open to a certain extent because now he's behind. Well, not too bad. No, he's actually okay.
Yeah,
and
pretty much on tempo.
But balance his rack so that he's able to score the next turn as well.
Yeah. King, this is Division 1. We're only showing Division 1, but this is the North American lexicon.
That's a good play.
Yeah.
It says 34 points. Early in the game, that's where the S's are. That's where the you have not seen the play yet, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. All right.
Jilly, so the notes they're essentially taking so they're keeping score for both themselves and their opponent. You can always check in on what the score is. And as well, people also keep track of what tiles have been played, so that they might make a decision based on how many vowels or consonants might be left. And, once you get to the end of the game, you can know exactly what's left. I hope Scrabble Rich Baker might consider throwing in an awesome pun in the chat at some point. I've grown to be a great fan of his puns.
You know.
I have drawn goofy pictures before on my score sheet. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't. But
We'll also be keeping you up to date on the Collins game. Right now, we have Now, I don't know how to pronounce Rashid Olajide. Was that?
Oh, Rashid's playing. Yeah, Rashid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashid Olajide
Is playing
Balogun.
Austin Shin.
Which
Where's
is-
Austin located?
Austin's in Milton Keynes, and Rashid is from outside of. Well, he was in Lagos for a very long time,
Yeah.
or outside of Lagos for a very long time, and now I believe he is living in outside of Dallas now.
All right. So we're seeing a score of 175 for Rashid to 96 for Austin. It's a little bit closer in the columns division, so we will be giving you updates because there's no clear winner so far.
So no, there is no official scorekeeper in the sense, it's, you're sort of keeping track yourself. Sometimes people do make mistakes, and at the end of the game, they'll catch them. And yes, Stephen, we are, good to see you, by the way. We are in the same room.
Hey, Stephen.
I hope one day we can get it set up so that we're in a different room so that we can be a little bit noisier, and Robin won't sound like she's whispering into people's ears with ASMR.
What? Can you hear me? Hello.
But for now, we're just hanging out here in the back, trying to not cause too much trouble. Just enough trouble is really our goal.
All right, so we're up to date. Oh, upside down. Why did we turn the board upside down? Oops. So you can see that it's Will's turn because of the fact that he's got the red light on his clock. And the only bingo he has with that rack is through a V. Does
Through a
anybody
V.
know what that is?
I know it.
Think dentist.
Yeah, Kuma. This is their win-loss record for the entire tournament. So Will is absolutely killing it. Jeff, it's 25 minutes per game. We are a couple of troublemakers. I completely agree. That's my goal, though, right?
Yeah, otherwise what's the point?
What's the point?
You'll notice the configuration on the board. You'll see how it's lots of big words spread out. And if you look at lower division games, what you'll often find is like Lego, where they're just chunked onto each other, the words. And that's because these players know a lot more words than the lower level ones do. So you have this kind of spider configuration on the board.
Yeah. And Will loves his open board, so he can
play his
kind of sick his word knowledge on you. He's
It really is like a dog coming to attack you, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, actually, in Will's case, probably a cat, like a rabid cat or something. Yes, Charles is telling us to cool it. You are totally correct. I love the wordplay. Because we, of course, never, ever, ever get tired of that. Yeah. Some people have to put up with me like every day. Yeah, giga is a legal word. It's, I believe, also a kind of like a jig. It's like a dance or something, I think.
You think it's a bastardization of G-I-G-U-E or G-I-G-H-E?
I think maybe it might be. Although I'm not positive.
Well, we have some Scrabble people out there, and since we're busy with our commentary, if they care to look up the words and give people the definitions, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, hey, there's Eve. Eve, say hi to Henry and Arthur and James for me. See if they remember my name this time.
Charles is not paying attention. Was that a joke that she's asking that? That he's paying attention to her?
I think she's kidding.
You think you're okay.
Yeah. No, Charles is
I'll believe anything back here.
I mean, Charles might have super whatever hearing and can hear us from all the way over here. I wouldn't put it past him. Those rankies, you never know what's happening. Like
there is a bingo with the P with his rack, which is poultice, but it doesn't quite fit on the board.
Yeah.
Which is always annoying.
Yeah. Tokyo, the occasional phony has never hurt if you can get away with it. We saw one this morning that would have lost somebody a game, but his opponent didn't challenge it and felt pretty stupid after.
That?
Yeah, he just totally spazzed.
Okay.
It was not good.
That happens.
But I've certainly played phonies in many situations. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Who's doing that? Is that you? We're getting a notice that not only is Giga a lively dance, but it's also denoting a factor of 10.
I think that's we were debating whether or not that was
10 something squiggle 9.
Yeah.
I don't know
10 to the
called.
9th. It's like a
oh,
billion.
that's to the 9th. Okay, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here now we gave Rich. Rich is one of the executive committee people here, and we've given him a reason for living this round because he's looking up words for you guys. So thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
And here's an example of a word that you think is a noun, poultice, and we talked about sometimes it's a verb, and you can see to apply a healing substance to. So poultice can actually add a D to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not an easy rack for Charles here. You got like decent tiles, but not great because he can't bingo with them. So it's like, how do you score well, but also keep some good tiles for next turn?
You always kind of want to get rid of that U as quickly as you can.
Yeah, sure.
But sometimes you just can't. This
Yeah.
opens the board and gets rid of 2 of the 4 vowels.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, oh yeah, we haven't even looked at, okay.
Yeah.
So at some point, Will's going to play. He's got obviously a beautiful rack, and he's got dinners, and he's got endrins. I'm going to predict he plays endrins. I just feel it.
You got to feel it's almost as if you can see into the future. I don't know how you do that. You must win every tournament you play in.
It's a gift.
So
it is a beautiful rack, Katie.
Yeah.
You're right.
You can never tell people that they have a nice rack in Scrabble too much. The
It's
common retort is, "Oh, thank you. You should see my tiles." I forget who I'm supposed to give credit to for that,
I think I've heard that so many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
So it's almost like an embarrassment of riches for Will, who keeps getting balanced racks. He's getting what we call baby bingos, because
Yeah.
they're bingos that you study really, really early,
Yeah.
Satinit, endrins. But he'll take it. I promise you, he will take it.
Yeah, having been in Will's position before, like this is kind of how it works to win a national championship in anything.
Elefine.
You need like some luck and some and a lot of
Yes.
skill.
You
So-
cannot win this tournament without a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
It's very hard to.
Yeah.
And you see he's got Elefine to the E and Satinit.
Thank you, King. I appreciate it. I try to work out, as you guys saw earlier, me flexing my
And Aphelion,
Yeah.
and he's got Aphelion to the O.
Yeah.
So he's going to be bingoing again.
Yeah. Scrabble is like, often it's like RNG as heck. It can be kind of annoying at times, but it can also be fun.
And Kefalin off the C. I'll just
Mm.
keep throwing out words.
just-
Just ignore me.
Yeah. Well, Outgrew will block a lot of them, but
Yeah. No,
Not-
he's just swimming in bingos that
Yeah.
he can play, and they can't all be blocked.
yeah, Elefine will still barely be available. But he'll block almost every one.
Well, Elefine's the least scory
Yeah.
one. Kefalin would be the best.
Yes.
Aphelion would be
Yeah.
pretty good too.
Stephen, you're probably right, and it's true. This tournament, Nigel's just getting hosed. I mean, he just can't. He can't draw anything this tournament. It is ridiculous how badly Nigel is drawing this tournament. It's like kind of sad.
Let me take out my really tiny violin, shall I? Oh my god.
Yeah. I think I'm going to stick to combining Scrabble and alcohol for now before we move on to Russian roulette.
Russian roulette. God.
If by that you mean like shots of vodka, then I don't even. I'm past the vodka point in my life, I think. I don't know, Kenji. I think I might slightly disagree with you. I think that of the top 5 or so players who are playing, it's whichever one of them is going to get the best tiles is the one who's going to win. Because I don't think, your top few players, like they're all going to play just as well, and they all have to play each other, and they're all going to play about the same as each other. So ultimately, like, if they all play just as well, it's going to come down to who draws the best. So I think to some degree, Will needs to get luckier than, your Mac, your Jesse, your Ruffy, and of course, Nigel.
Duke, I like your comment about wish there was a graphic with how many tiles are left in the bag. That's a bit of programming that I think we're working on for another time.
Yeah.
We have tried to do it. It's really, really tricky. But thanks for the suggestion. It's a good one.
Yeah. So, Jilly, anybody can get into the tournament. You just have to, pay your entry fee and be a member of an organization. And from there, you're welcome to show up and play in whichever division you are qualified for.
Tokyo, to answer your question, we're actually doing a tournament with 2 different sets of rules and two different dictionaries. When you're playing in North America, The onus is on the opponent to get the word right. If he challenges a word and it is correct, the other person has to take the word off the board and he loses a turn. It's a very onerous penalty.
Yeah.
If you play with the International Dictionary, then you only lose 5 points. So the onus becomes on the player to get it right, not on
Yeah.
the challenger.
Yeah. So I think.
Oh, he got lucky. See, he almost blocked everything, and
Yeah.
yet he still gave him a place to bingo.
Yeah. I mean, I think Charles is gonna tattoo him right back, but still not gonna be in good shape. Yeah, Metamorph. There are 6 divisions here. So there's a Division 3 and 4 in the North American division are, I wouldn't say amateur, but much more. Not quite at this level. Let's put it that way. How many competitors in this year's tournament are female? I mean,
well, quite a few in the lower ones. There's very few in the top division. Very few.
Yeah. And one of the best ones is not playing and sitting next to me.
It's very lonely for me, but I like you guys, so we're good.
So, it's not looking great for Charles right now.
No, it's not looking good at all.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, and then he's got the other.
Yeah.
Do we know that? Yes, we can tell you he has the other blank. So Will
continues to draw like God this tournament, and.
But when it starts happening towards the end of the second to last day, it's almost preordained at this point. But it's going to be pretty hard to beat him now for the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in this position a couple years ago, I was like way ahead, and then all of a sudden, just.
What happened?
Loss.
Outdrew every time?
Yeah, it was rough. It was, the wrong time for it to happen, and I came within a point of falling out of contention.
A single point?
Yeah, I think.
That is scary.
Yeah, my ex lost a game by 1 on the final day, and if he had won that game, he pretty much
would have been your ex a lot faster?
No, at the time I would have been thrilled, but.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but by losing that game, I remained in contention and came back. So, in the end, it all worked out for me. Which is, I know everyone here would be cheering for me, right? Yeah, okay, sure, whatever.
Well, that's what's happened to me a few times. I've come close. I've been in up to 3rd spot, and then I always seem to, on the 4th day or so, hit a wall where, like 5 games in a row, they score over 500 points against me, and I just watch the entire tournament slip through my fingers.
Yeah. It's,
very
that's
painful.
kind of how it happens. It's about being in the right place at the right time and consistently playing better than everyone else. Scrabble ultimately is about, who makes fewer mistakes, because everyone's going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
The game space is just so huge. You're going to screw up. It's just, how can you... Also, I love that Charles has too late spelled on his rank.
Too late.
Because effectively his bingo is probably going to be a bit too late.
Too little, too late. And it's not going to score a lot because he's going to play through the T.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Kuma, we've had different formats of these tournaments where we have done finals. Last year we had a really crazy one where the top 8 people got to be in their own division for the last 10 games or so. It was really kind of nuts. So we play with different formats. This year we've decided to go with straight winner.
Yeah, I think there's a there's a fine line between both of them, and this is where we are right now, and over time it would be cool to see some more like match play style. Hashtag Kenji Matsumoto's match play. Ha 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 ha. I don't know if anyone gets that, but yeah.
Patootie, yeah, that's a possibility. I once played that against Ian Weinstein, and I only remember because he made such a big deal about it, like as if I had played, the most amazing word. I don't know.
Yeah. So I understand Charles wanting to open the board up here. There's not much he can do.
Did he have something else to play that would have?
I mean, Patootie was safer.
Oh, it was available. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if he may not have seen it. Honestly, like Will is way ahead.
So not only does he score, he gets rid of the J, but he makes himself another lane to bingo down onto.
Yeah.
It's kind of ideal. You love to have games like this, especially when you're in contention, that you just can't believe how lucky you are that you don't have to think.
Yeah, Will basically doesn't have to think this game. Which is kind of what you want, because when you do have to think in one of the games,
it's exhausting.
You'll want that energy back,
Yeah.
or you'll be happy that you have that energy.
I don't know if people understand how much energy it takes to play this game. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Because you cannot make a mistake.
Nope. or you need to make fewer mistakes than everybody
Well, for
else.
sure.
Charles has a faint bit of hope here, just in the sense that he can play, Bran for some points and keep a good lead. But I think Will's just going to kind of pummel him with points the rest of the game, and I just don't think he's going to be able to come back in time. You miss Ian and David. Well, I'm sure Ian says hi. David is probably working right now.
You're in good shape when you can let triple stay open in the end game, because you know that even if they get 140 points, they can't catch you.
Yeah.
That's the ideal.
Yeah. I believe Charles does have a ponytail currently. He
does.
He and his twin brother they've had long hair since I met them in 2006. Let's find out how many tiles remain in the game.
Oh yeah, we could do that for you. And let me give you an update on the other game too. Sorry, I've been remiss.
It appears
when I left you, Rashid was way ahead by over 100 points, and now he's up by 85 points.
And it appears there are... Oh man, math is hard. Why do I make myself do math? Something like 20 tiles in the back.
Did you take off 14 from that?
Yeah,
so it's 24.
14 minus the 3 that he played for Bran, so 21? I don't know. Math is
hard.
hard.
As math goes, it was a pretty easy one. I'll help you with those. If we can turn the board around, that would be amazing.
So Swish, kind of like... to answer your question, you sort of have this delineation between people who like these more open boards and people who like to play more defense. And there's a core set of people at the top who typically, win the majority of tournaments. So it's always trying to put yourself in the best position to beat those people. So, in my case, being one of the people who likes playing the more defensive games, it's always been, how can I learn the play style of these better players so that I can hopefully take advantage. I can take advantage of them. Are
you a defensive one? Are you a?
Oh yeah.
A board hog?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hate those.
Well, yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of words too, and I love to be able to play them.
Yeah.
So that's why I study nines now, for you guys who clog up the board.
Yeah. Well, some of these guys know the nines now. I never learned them.
Good to know.
Yeah. Jilly, it probably would have been a couple fewer points, and also Charles wants to kind of keep the board open here. And that would kind of block the P and the U and maybe even that T. Hey, King, if you find me on Facebook or whatever, feel free to start a game. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person with my name out there. I'm always happy to play Scrabble with people. If they start a game with me, I sometimes forget to check, but beyond that, go for it. How is I think Will basically just has to wait out the clock here, and he should be fine. Note he's got like 15 minutes left.
You are correct about that, Swoosh. That I is 27 points underneath Na and through the PE and the HN at the bottom. So maybe that was just a miss.
Ooh, yeah, that's a.
He's got time. He could have figured that out.
Yeah, that's a nice
2 extra
there.
points. Every little bit counts.
Yeah, and Charles is not doing a very good job of drawing bingos.
Oh, he's so close. Those are such annoying racks.
Yeah.
You just have to fish off a couple of tiles each time.
Yeah.
It kills you, and you do that like 3 times, the game's over.
Right.
You just can't catch up.
Yeah.
Now, Will doesn't have any bingos that he could play, so the question now does...
Yeah, for sure, Jilly.
What's that?
Yeah.
He can play oof under Wickers, or I don't know.
Yeah. Eve, no, there's no scoring benefit to having time left over at the end. The main way that you might be able to benefit from it is it could mean that your opponent doesn't have much time, and you might be able to kind of speed rush them near the end. So, I tend to be kind of a faster player, and I can try to, run some people over on time, and, they may not be able to make as strategically sound decisions if they kind of have to rush. No, it does not. Aracene does not play an owl. Didn't even know that. It's a nice find, though.
To answer your question, Jilly, the Bran in R and Wickers would not have been more points. It would have been 20 points, and I think he got 24 where he played it.
But still a good spot, though, of seeing those parallel plays for sure.
Oh, maybe not. Let me do the math. 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, it's 24. Yeah, versus
Yeah, so much. If a player runs out of time, we get to throw things at them. No, what happens is you lose 10 points for every minute you go over. And you typically would be up to a limit of 10 minutes, but no one ever really goes that far.
Aracene does not play in OWL.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's strategic actually to go over because
Yeah.
you're constantly. Did you say that already? I wasn't
No,
listening.
I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
I once lost a tournament because I didn't.
Yeah. Sometimes it pays to go over if you do the math and you see that even if I go over and I lose 10 points, I'm going to win the game.
Yeah.
Then it's fine to go over.
Yeah. Yeah, much the penalty's not quite as strict. I wouldn't mind it being stricter, but
It's all part of the strategy of the game. You really need to know the game extremely well to know how to take advantage of all the rules.
yeah.
So Charles can't be feeling pretty good because 105 points down with 1 pointers. Like he's not. Oh, he did play oof. There you go.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, so Brett, there's kind of like a number of things. It would be hard to kind of sum up in a couple of sentences, but
We can give you a couple
yeah.
of years worth of commentary if you want.
yeah, but basically it's how many points can I score now, how many points can I score, over the next few turns, and kind of balancing that. So I'm doing well now and I'm doing well later, and using the 2-letter words and playing parallel as able to help maximize those abilities. For some people, it's about keeping the board wide open so that you have a lot of opportunities to play cool words. And in other cases, some people, like myself, like to play these, more defensive boards where you have fewer opportunities and the penalty, for making a mistake can be a lot higher because the best play versus the second best play on a closed board, tends to be much greater than the best play and the second best play on an open board.
We're going to try to get you a countdown of how many tiles are left.
I love that
there's
oof
11
got
tiles
added.
left.
I love that we have oof now and foo.
I love that we have that. And ur.
Yeah.
Or no, not ur,
Ru.
but we have ur in the other
Yeah.
one. That is one of the beautiful things about Scrabble. It is the playing pieces are words, and therefore words, because words are constantly evolving in society, new words are being added or being accepted. Every few years we add new words to the dictionary, so the game never gets stale. It's not that chess gets stale, or
Yeah.
But the point is, we get new playing pieces every few years, or 5-10 years, and it makes it so exciting.
Yeah. Swish. So first place for Division 1 is $10,000 right now. I'd say across all 6 divisions, it's probably in the realm. It's probably between around $50,000 maybe across all the divisions, maybe a little more.
That sounds high to me. I don't know.
We have 6 divisions, and they got about
Okay.
5,000 plus in donations for
Oh,
Collins.
okay. There you go.
So
There you go. Hasbro gave us a nice little chunk of money, which was
Yeah.
a good thing.
yeah, and who knows? Next year is the 70th anniversary or something of Scrabble, so maybe your 80th or something.
Oh,
So
is it time again for another
It is.
Anniversary?
2008 was the last one. So I don't know. Maybe when we're in scenic Buffalo, New York next year, maybe they'll pony up a bit. Also, Will is about to be like a total beast. Like, my goodness, the hype for Will right now that I have is just unbelievable. This is just so sick. This is probably going to be one of the plays that gets talked about later on because that's just such
That's a new addition
sick.
in the
yeah,
recent.
yeah, that's just such a sick find. That's unbelievable.
Well, 2 U's. If he didn't have the second U, I'd be even more impressed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kind of forces you to think in that direction. But
Yeah.
that's Will for you. He is a word machine.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, he does sometimes, occasionally, like really rarely make a mistake, but just enough for you to wonder whether you should challenge him sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really annoying, because with Nigel, pretty much he never makes phonies.
Right, Nigel never plays phonies. There's a few of us who just I hate playing phonies. This is, I don't know.
I don't like it either.
Doesn't make me feel happy. I'm certainly willing to do it if I have to, but
Well,
I
I'm playing
don't know.
somebody 400 points below me, and they're drawing the bag. I get
Right,
really
eventually,
angry.
eventually you have to.
Yeah.
The wildcard letter, the blank, can be used for anything, and here it's an L.
It's the most valuable tile in Scrabble.
Yeah.
And he does not lose points because the fleur-de-lis is upside down.
Yeah. I want to play a Chutes and Ladders tournament, but that's like hella RNG, so I don't know. think Will might get kind of pwned in a Chutes and Ladders tournament. I don't know if he could do it.
All right, so we clearly have a winner in this game, and I think we clearly have a winner as well
Yeah.
in the Collins game, where Rashid was up by over 90 points last time I checked.
Yeah. Will does every now and then actually make a few word knowledge mistakes, but compared to most of everybody else, there's very few of them. He made a couple at the tournament he played in a few weeks ago, but the fact that we're saying that really speaks to his skill. That we're struggling to find times that he misses.
So people are going on about how great this play was, and I can promise you that the reason it took him so long was simply because he was looking for something even better.
Yeah.
It's not because he was struggling to find it. I'm sure he saw it immediately.
Yeah, it was umbellule.
He didn't hit any double words score, so he was probably looking at something through the O.
Yeah.
But the two U's really do limit you, so.
Yeah.
Maybe he was looking to something to the L.
Yeah. Well, I'm at this rate looking forward to welcoming Will into the ranks of those crazy humans who decided it was worth it to win a national championship. I think he's gonna do it, and I'm,
Do you think it's gonna be on your headstone? Is it one of your greatest accomplishments in life ever?
Will winning? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no. I mean, for me, it's not the sort of thing where it's defined my existence or anything, but it was the first thing in my life where I decided this was a thing that I really wanted to be good at, and having
and you achieved it.
Yeah, and having had no direction in life, like most dorky, somewhat rather high functioning kids, this was good for me.
And when you say, does it define my existence? I mean, there's a very famous quote from
That's what
from Joel Sherman, who's also a fabulous champion of the game, where he has said that it basically gave him a reason for living or defined his existence. And you know what? If that's what you can be a surgeon, you can be the top Scrabble player. They're both require dedication and study and perseverance. And I think there's no shame in being one of the, if that's all you do in your life, I think you've had a life well lived.
Yeah. You're surrounded by people who you love. You found your people. There's, to me, that's about all you can ask for in life. Whether it's Scrabble or Chutes and Ladders or, I don't know.
Well, that's why we encourage people to come to a tournament and see and join the family.
Yeah.
Because it truly is a family.
Yeah. Yeah, Will does not screw around at all. Will is he's beast.
Quite gasping.
Will hype, Will hype, Will hype. I have so much Will hype right now. I think the best thing about Will is that I don't think there's a single person in the world who doesn't like Will, because he's just
he's so sweet.
He's just one of the greatest people ever. And
he's so humble, and it's always God. when you mention his accomplishments, he goes, "Oh, I'm sure someone else did it better or faster, whatever." Yeah. He's so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's not bull, he really does mean it.
Yeah. So if he does, if he should hold on to win, I think it's. I think the room is just gonna be thrilled for him. I know I will be.
And we can see that Charles can go out with levers through the Ian Wickers, so that's reason enough for him to play Doze or something like that.
Yeah, I suspect that'll. Yeah, Will's impressions are amazing. I should have asked him to do one when we interviewed him earlier.
I think he's coming in now again.
Are we gonna bring him back in?
We're gonna bring him back in, so you can ask him for that.
Maybe we'll see if I can get him to do.
What does he do?
He could probably do Joel Sherman.
Oh, he does he does us.
I'd love to hear Will do an impression of me. I don't really know what my.
I think that would be easy enough.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to say that I know you all really would love Will in your life, but Will is happily taken. I suspect in the next couple of years he will probably be married with his 3 cats. Oh yeah. Oh, she's just amazing. I don't know if she's.
He so deserves it.
Yeah. I got to stay with him for a few days out he lives in this quaint little house in the countryside in Amish country, and with their 3 cats, and.
Did you see her requesting a Annette Tedesco impression?
Yeah, that's.
She's a beloved tournament director who has a very heavy multi-year smoking accent,
Yeah.
New York accent, gravelly throat.
Yeah.
Somebody had a question about why we use our own dictionary. Do you know a lot about the dictionary? I know that we use multiple dictionaries. We don't just use the one.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing. It's a brand thing, and so I think it's a word has to show up in one of a few source dictionaries in order to be considered a word
Oxford
in
is
North
not one of
America,
them.
and I think Oxford's just not one of them.
The, one of the things people say about the Collins Dictionary is that it has so, not that our words aren't obscure either, but particularly obscure because there's so many Shakespearean and medieval and
Yeah.
that kind of words,
Yeah.
which our dictionary kind of shuns.
Yeah, some people like them, some people don't. I think I'm going to do the Will interview unless you would like to interview Will this time.
It's okay if you want to.
All right, yeah, I will. I'll ham it up with Will for a couple minutes
But
again.
if Dave wins again, I might be out of questions.
I'll ask Dave about.
He's not as
Yeah.
willing a speaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're also going to have interviews with Stefan Fatsis. Some of you people might know his book. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of his book. Don't kill me, Stefan. Do you remember the
Word
name?
Freak.
Word Freak, thank you. I have Word Nerd in my head. So Word Freak, which was a book that we all so appreciated, really put Scrabble on the map as if it needed it, and he made it even more so. So he's and he's a wonderful speaker. So he's going to come and talk, and we have Joe Edley too.
Yeah.
So Will knew that by playing 5, he would block Charles' ability to go out. He didn't feel the need to put his Z there because he knew that he could play it for a lot of points up at the top of the board, which is what he did. So that's part of the Scrabble strategy, just being aware what your opponent has, what you have, how you can score.
Yeah, so it looks like Will has taken this one. We're going to go find him in the next couple of minutes and bring him over here to